This is my father. No, his footsteps. He is in the forest of Periyar Tiger Reserve of southern India, his favorite retreat. Many consider him crazy because of this habit of wandering in the wilderness whenever he gets a chance, which is mostly 7 days a week, 30 days a month, or one full year. As children, we used to miss him very much. But compensations came in the form of exciting stories he used to tell us about his jungle adventures. Who would not want to join him to enjoy the wilderness and see its amazing denizens? We started pestering him. One day, he said, "First you go out into your backyard, open your eyes to the wildlife there, discover the mysteries of life. Then, one day, I shall take you to a real wildlife sanctuary." So, this is the story of our excursions, our discoveries, our enjoyment of the natural world out in our garden. Sit back, relax, and enjoy as the memories of our natural history adventures visually unfold before you. Sudeep, come out fast.
What is it? I'm watching TV.
There is something more exciting happening here. Come fast.
Here I am coming. I think that squirrel is collecting nesting material.
Yeah, it is. I'm wondering where the nest is. It is running to that small window. Look, Sudeep, it's making a nest there. We were very eager to know what was happening inside. Then one day, we saw a tiny movement, and there it was, a cute, cuddly junior. But it was certainly showing its displeasure as we flashed our light on him. That evening, to our big surprise, we saw him being taken away by Mummy Squirrel. No doubt, Junior would have complained about a rather uncouth behavior. Oh, we felt so terribly sad. But where would have Mummy taken her tiny darling? We kept wondering. Later, our father told us that squirrels make several drays. That's how the nests of squirrels are called. And if we search, we might find one. We did, and guess where we found it? But it was empty. Junior was probably in some other dray high up on a tree. Squirrel watching is a very interesting pastime. For that matter, any natural history around one's home. This is what we realized during the course of our wildlife adventures. Tidbits of food from Mummy's kitchen was the best way to attract squirrels. One day, we nailed a coconut half on a branch very close to our window. A little bit of waiting behind the window curtain, and then great fun watching these dainty little creatures, their antics and acrobatics. Soon, with the help of a carpenter friend, we made a feeding table for them. But who said feeding tables are only for squirrels? Look what this book says.
What is it?
It says no home garden can be complete without a bird bath.
Okay, so today's project, a bird bath. Let's consult Daddy.
Our wish was granted. Using a simple flower pot, he put up a bird bath on the fork of our mango tree, hardly 3 feet from the ground. Another one in the backyard. Just as father predicted, soon birds started visiting them. Being summer, they all seemed very thirsty. The house crow, Indian myna, magpie robin, white-cheeked barbet, they were the regulars in our bird bath. Special guests were shikra, crow pheasant, flameback woodpecker, and once even the black kite. After all, they all need water to quench their thirst and keep the plumage in top condition. That was a summer morning, and we woke up hearing the incessant call of a pair of white-cheeked barbets. Oh God, would they nest in our garden? Our hope soared high. Within no time, Sudeep saw one of them perched on the dry branch of our bird cherry tree right beside our front gate. It was pecking on the wood. Yes, it was trying to bore a hole in it. We could see its mate on a nearby branch. We jumped with joy. Whole day, we watched them boring deeper and deeper into the wood like expert chiselmen working in high spirits. But luck was not in favor of us or the birds. Don't know what happened. They dropped the idea of raising the family there. Magpie robins are lovely birds and also superb songsters among urban birds. We have a few visiting our garden and the bird bath now and then. To inspire them to raise their family in our compound, father put up 2 nesting quarters, a long melon seed in the garden and a mud pot in the backyard. Magpies are quite famous for accepting such hospitality. Soon enough, a pair started inspecting the large seed hung from a mango tree. One after the other, the male and the female would go in, maybe to see whether the interior design was fine. But once again, luck turned against us. There was an unexpected rain and the nest got completely soaked. The magpies never visited it thereafter. You want to be a naturalist? Then you have to become good detectives first. Father used to tell us. How correct he was. While the birds were building their nest, there was another construction going on right under our noses. A big black wasp was building its nest on the window pane of our veranda, but we never saw it until it was almost finished. After some detective work, we discovered that the wasp was transporting globules of mud from our neighbor's compound. When mixed with its own saliva, it becomes rock hard when it dries. The nest consists of a series of chambers. In each, it lays a single egg and packs it with small spiders or worms. These become the food for the wasp young ones, which are called grub. Soon afterwards, Sudeep discovered another nest of a group of small Polistes wasps. Theirs is a different lifestyle. They live as a community, and instead of mud, they use plant cellulose to make their egg chambers. Each grub gets special attention from adult wasps. Pellets of a special food are given to each, and as a thanksgiving gesture, the grubs produce a sort of honeydew for their parents. Once, Sudeep's sharp eyes discovered two small white eggs inside a crevice of our wall. We wanted to know what would come out of them, so we carefully took them out. What a terrific luck! One day, as we were closely watching it, the shell suddenly ruptured and a tiny head shot out. Wow, what an amazing sight! It looked like the head of a small lizard. Indeed, it was the house lizard, or house gecko as it is called. We also saw that it didn't have to go far in search of its first food. It was eating its own skin, probably the best nutrition immediately available to it. We have a few other lizards living happily in our garden. The common garden lizard, the beautifully colored green lizard, and our favorite skink that sports a brilliant tail. Once or twice, we were even able to see its feeding habits.
Swati, come, look. I saw a magpie going into the pot.
Once again, our hope soared high. The magpies finally started nesting inside the mud pot. Our summer vacation started off with a big bang. We were able to enjoy watching the nesting activities from start to finish. Look at this green blanket of money plant on one of our compound walls. From a distance, it looks devoid of much life. But one day, I happened to spot a reddish looking ant on a leaf. I knew ants are insects and that all insects have only 6 legs. But what a surprise! This red ant had 8. How could that be? With a magnifier, I took a closer look. My goodness, I couldn't believe my eyes. The creature was not an ant but a spider that was looking like an ant. What a smart little fellow. Soon I found out why it was playing this wolf in sheep's clothing. It lives near the nest of red weaver ants, and when the spider gets a chance, it catches one and eats it. It is an amazing example of how some spiders use deception and mimicry to fool their prey. This member of the Myrmidacinae family not only looks like the red ant but also behaves like one. We soon found out that this green leafy curtain is a hideout for many teeny weeny creatures. Grasshoppers, various insects, some butterflies and moths. Look at what this tiny moth is doing. Later, we learned that the moth was a male, and by fanning these powder puffs, it was actually spreading special molecules to attract females. Jumping spiders really look like some aliens from outer space. We have seen at least half a dozen species lurking among the green leaves waiting for some passing prey. They have a much better eyesight than other spiders. In fact, they are capable of seeing colors, and their two front eyes can even focus on objects. Once, Father showed us a garden cross spider in our backyard with a bulging abdomen. It's ready for laying eggs, he said. You can see how she makes her egg case if you keep a close watch over it. Then, one early morning, we saw it expertly making its egg case. Wow, what a wonderful thing to watch! You continue watching the egg case, and if you are really lucky, you can even see the young spiderlings emerging, Father told us. Oh, that would be the most exciting thing to watch, we told ourselves. So, we decided to keep a close vigil over the egg case. After about 10 days, one fine morning, we saw that amazing drama unfold before our eyes. From a small slit in one corner of the egg case, hundreds of miniature spiders started emerging, one after the other. We couldn't even count how many there were. It was truly an unforgettable sight. One day, Sudeep spotted a small pendulum-like case hanging from a brick on the wall. It was superbly camouflaged. On closer scrutiny, we discovered that there was a spider hiding inside. We summoned Father and showed him our discovery. He took some pictures of this spider, and eventually we had the surprise of surprises. An expert arachnologist informed him that it was a recently discovered new species of comb-footed spider. But this common two-tailed spider doesn't grab its dinner by deception. It's straight ambush, kill and eat. There are even some puny Davids in the spider world whose poisons are so potent that they can easily overpower giant Goliaths. Amazing indeed is the world of spiders. So what does it prove, my children? He asked us. Only that we need not travel to Periyar Tiger Reserve or a tropical forest to discover new forms of life. There may be some lurking right in our backyard. We find ants everywhere, in every nook and corner of our home. To most people, they are a pest, but to budding naturalists like us, they are a constant source of entertainment and education. Perhaps no other insect can teach us the value of unity better than ants. Watch these red weaver ants surviving all obstacles in their march for survival. When it comes to nest building also, few other insects can match the ingenuity of these weaver ants. Using silk, they weave a couple of leaves together and make the nest. But ants are insects and insects do not produce silk like spiders. So how do they do it? The answer is truly amazing. They seek the help of their larvae which can produce silk. Using them like miniature spindles, the leaves are stitched together. Bit of ant watching, we also realize that ants are the supreme predators in the wild garden of ours, just like the tiger of the Indian forest. But it was accidentally that one day we stumbled upon a lion in our backyard. Don't you laugh, it's not Simba the Lion King, but the tiny ant lion whose prey catching technique is quite unique. Watch how the creature goes about it. Dinner is always enjoyed peacefully under the soil. Imagine that this little lion would one day emerge as a lovely lace wing. You know, with summer comes the season of fruits on our fruiting trees. Mangoes, jambas, jackfruits, gooseberries, guavas. They offer a feast to birds and squirrels. But they are a favorite to many butterflies too. The castor butterfly, common evening brown, bush browns, chocolate pansy, danite egg fly, common palm fly, common sailor, commander butterfly, the common baron. The rotting fruits on the ground become their favorite feeding tables. help, we were able to marvel at the life cycles of many garden butterflies. The freshly emerged tiny larva of mine butterfly eating its own eggshell for breakfast. The commander butterfly, whose larva and pupa are masterpieces of camouflage. The skipper butterfly larva, which makes a shelter and hides behind it. The larvae of blue butterflies that have an army of ants always attending to them, those ants being rewarded with a sort of honeydew, and so many others. But the one which really stole our hearts was a red-pierred butterfly, perhaps the prettiest of all our garden butterflies. Its larva, instead of hiding behind a leafy shelter, bores a hole and spends its entire lifetime inside the fleshy leaf. No doubt the best way to escape from all predators. But pupation and final emergence of the adult butterfly take place outside the leaf. Another corner which teems with different kinds of life is a small garden pond. It attracts some frogs, spiders, damselflies and dragonflies and the amazing water striders. They are true masters of floating. Their specially adapted feet with thousands of water repellent hairs help them to move on water without breaking the water film. They are even capable of detecting the smallest vibration caused by a prey falling on the water. Our resident froggies come to life only after the sun goes down. And if it is the beginning of the rainy season, then the cacophony becomes ear-piercing. Night is sleep time for us. But we soon discovered that it is at night that many animals come to life. Spiders build their webs at night. Moths feed from rotting fruits. New life in the form of tiny mushrooms spring up from the ground. But most spectacular of all, bats, the champion flying mammals of our world. From our terrace, we used to get a good view of the feeding habits of the flying foxes, the largest bats in the world. For the smaller bats, banana flowers and fruits provide great delicacies. Like the sprouting of new life in one corner of our home, our lifelong ambition to explore the wilderness of Peria finally sprouted. For us, this spider and its fragile web symbolized the entire tapestry of life on this planet. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. This great ancient wisdom we learned from this Garden of Eden, our home. Sudeep had already honed up his skill as a wildlife photographer in this Garden of Eden, our home. With knowledge, know-hows and equipments handed down from our father, we finally followed his footsteps to a long-cherished dream destination, the Periyar Tiger Reserve.